Well, good evening once again. Day 1279 of the Trump administration, 105 days now until the presidential election. The New York Times tonight says we went over 1,000 deaths today in this country for the first time in the last 2 weeks. Today, the president went before cameras in the briefing room and gave a realistic assessment of the threat of the virus for about the first week of April. Today, he advocated mask wearing. He warned the American public it's going to get worse before it gets better. All appropriate warnings for about the first week of April. And because mainstream media, network and print, were tonight full of straight-faced, unironic, and casually normalizing stories about the president's new tone, they called it, and because covering presidents and presenting their quotes in the old way went out with those old presidents, and because this matters at a time with 140,000 dead, a virus out of control, and now ripping through states like Utah, it is fair to presume, as some already have, the president is hoping the electorate forgets that he was an early and consistent coronavirus denier. He is hoping the electorate somehow forgets the 6 months that led up to today and how he has sought to diminish the threat at just about every turn.
We're finding very little problem, very little problem. Now, you treat this like a flu.
The Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. This is their new hoax.
What would people gain from wearing a mask, and why are you opposed to wearing one yourself?
Well, I just don't want to wear one myself. Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all.
The number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. now approaching 4 million. Infections have been surging across the Sun Belt, especially for weeks. Tonight, the president said this.
Some areas of our country are doing very well. Others are doing less well. It will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better. Something I don't like saying about things, but that's the way it is. It's what we have.
The president spoke alone in the briefing room. Remember, this was billed as a White House coronavirus briefing, the first since April. He brought charts, but no expertise with him. No Fauci, not even Birx. No Mike Pence, the chairman of the task force, to thank the president for his extraordinary leadership, though Trump was asked about the experts.
Why are your doctors not with you here today? Where's Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx?
Well, Dr. Birx is right outside.
Some 80,000 Americans have died since the last White House briefing on the virus. It's the largest public health crisis of the modern era, nothing close. The president now acknowledging the safeguards that states moved away from in their rush to open back up.
My administration will stop at nothing to save lives and shield the vulnerable. We're asking everybody that when you are not able to socially distance, wear a mask, get a mask. Whether you like the mask or not, they have an impact. We've done more testing by far than anybody. We're doing massive numbers, and the numbers are coming down. The virus will disappear. It will disappear. I think that I always like to say, as you know, either way, when you look at it, the governors are working with me. I'm working with the governor. We're working hand in hand. I think we're all responsible.
Yesterday, you tweeted out an image wearing a mask, and then last evening, we saw you not wearing a mask at your hotel.
Well, I don't know the hotel. I was pretty far away from people.
In other words, president's trying to say last night didn't count. Here's that video of the president last night that we first showed you at the end of our last night broadcast, wearing no mask while shaking hands and surrounded by a group of people. Tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made it clear she holds one Donald Trump responsible for the pandemic toll on the nation.
I think a good deal of what we have suffered is clearly the Trump virus.
So what you're saying is that thousands of Americans have died because of what the president has done or not done? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Meanwhile, we learned today that new CDC data is showing the number of cases in different parts of our country anywhere from 2 to 13 times higher than reported. It suggests a lot of people who didn't have symptoms or didn't seek medical care may have continued spreading the virus. CEO of one of the biggest companies to process COVID test results now says the virus is spreading faster than it can expand capacity. Amid all that, Trump is also trying to work out a deal with Republicans for this next relief bill. Washington Post reporting he appears to have backed off efforts to actually cut billions for testing and tracing, as well as for the CDC.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.